Welcome back, guys, to the Coins and Connections podcast. This is your girl, Cinquanta Cox-Smith, and we are going to continue to explore all things books, business, and bullshit. Let's get into today's episode. Hey guys, what's up? Episode 41. I am back again with another great episode. Today I am going to talk about how to become a military spouse entrepreneur and what it has been like for me to be a military spouse entrepreneur. So as you guys know, I am a military spouse and I am also a Army veteran. Currently, my husband is a active duty drill sergeant, and today is his 14-year anniversary in the Army. Okay, that's my battle. All right, so I am extremely happy that we only have a few more years left. It has been a long journey. I am glad that I got to serve 3 of those years with him, and we were on this journey together, but your girl had to get off. Okay, so I just had to get off that train. It wasn't for me, but look, I have a podcast. I have written books. I create courses. I have helped so many people find their purpose and passion and inspired them to do something with their life. So I think it was right for me to get off that wagon and follow my vision that I had for myself. So I'm excited to talk about this with you. And if you know a military spouse, doesn't matter what branch, doesn't matter if it's a husband, doesn't matter if it's a wife, tell them to check me out. Tell them to hit me up on Instagram at Cinquanta Cox-Smith. I have so much exciting things to just look forward to with my community and reaching out and meeting new people and just seeing where I can fit in and help those who need my services. So I'm excited, and we have not too long left here. I'm not going to get into details, not going to share, but we have some decisions to make, basically. You know how that goes. You move every couple of years, and sometimes you go someplace you want to go, and sometimes you don't. So we are just in that decision conversation stage where we just got to figure it out. And again, sacrifice has to be made one way or the other. So I will talk to you guys more about that next year, because right now it makes me super emotional to even talk about. So let's get into the episode. So I get asked a lot, how did you start your podcast? Where do I begin? How can I start a podcast? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. You know, I'm down with the free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like, ain't nobody listening yet and you making money. How dope is that? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, guys, so I'm going to kind of tell you what happened with me as an entrepreneur, kind of life after the military, and where I got started and how did I kind of just fall into, well, I'm not going to say I fall into this business. I feel like I knew all along that I would be an entrepreneur, but it's probably the how or what I do. So, kind of after life after the military, was a journey. It was a journey, but also the start of my entrepreneur journey. I dealt with issues while being in the military with child cares, with my leaders, and deployments. So one thing that I did do was I braided hair while I was pregnant, and I was stationed in Fort Drum, New York. So I would braid hair just about every weekend. I had somebody probably on a Saturday and a Sunday which was a great advantage for a pregnant person because the people whose hair I would braid, they would feed me. So, it was a plus. I would get paid to braid hair, and they would feel so, like, oh, you're pregnant, so let me make sure you eat. So I would get fed while, basically making money. So that kind of became my first hustle. But I also was glad that I learned at a young age how to braid, because who knew that it would kind of set me up to continuously make money throughout my life. So throughout my military career, basic training and AIT, I was also braiding hair. So it just kind of stuck with me for a while. Like I said, when I became permanent party at my first duty station, I was even able to have my name on one of the books as a braider at the hair store. So when people would come in and ask the owner about hair salons or different things, she had this book that had people's name in there who were braiders or who did weaves and sew-ins and stuff like that. So I was able to kind of generate some income and clientele from that way, and then also word of mouth or the people that I hung out with. So when I first kind of realized that, I'm switching gears here, that I enjoy making t-shirts, was probably really in like middle school, high school. I would cut up shirts, I would paint shirts, I would create shirts for holidays, Spirit Week, and just different things like that. And then I would make it a group effort. I would make sure my friends came over, and we would create t-shirts together, paint, glitter, tie-dye it, just about anything. But when I really realized that making shirts was my thing, like it was my jam, was probably around 2009. So this was after my second child was born, and I found the website Spreadshirt. So I was real heavy on Twitter back then, and that's like kind of when it first came out. So I had a crew of people that we would all tweet and we would talk, and like we were really lit. Like we were lit. Like we would have chats. We would all retweet each other. Back then it was easier to get celebrities or other people to respond because Twitter was still new and not a lot of people was on it. So things were a little bit easier. You could get shout outs, like I said, from celebs, and it kind of fueled me to get started, like legit get started. So my first real customers were DJs. My cousin was a DJ, and I kind of basically reached out to DJs to make shirts. If you are from South Carolina, if you've heard of DJ B Lord, I have made shirts for DJ A1, which is Candy Burris' DJ. And I also was able to make a shirt for DJ Shy Meals, which is Trina's tour DJ. So these were like my three people that I was able to get in contact with and make shirts for. And back then, basically all I did was like design certain colors with shirts with their Twitter names on it. How simple was that? Super simple, at whatever their Twitter handle was. And that basically was the shirts that I was making for these DJs to kind of get my name out there. Back then I didn't know the direction I was going in. I didn't even know like how do I keep up with this? How do I make this out of something? How do I make this a business? And the designs weren't great, but that was 10 years ago, and it kind of fueled what I have now. So in general, my design skills have increased along the way, also with marketing, pricing, keyword searching, and I've evolved throughout the years, also with many failures. But sometimes what we see for ourselves is kind of going in the right direction, and then things come together. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. I feel like it doesn't take 1 year. It literally took me about 10 years to really hone in on my niche after I tried to do something else, things that were kind of forced, that didn't work, but I tried. I was consistent, even if I wasn't doing the same exact thing each year. Led me to where I am now with the knowledge I have, with the skills I have, to be able to just create without second guessing, without overthinking, and without not having a plan. Now, what I can do is talk to my audience naturally without feeling like it's fake. So fake or phony. And I've always been unfiltered, raw, unedited. So that alone sets me apart from anybody else. I don't do a lot of editing, especially to the podcast or to my videos. What you see is what you get. If I say a word wrong, if I stutter, you're going to hear it all. You're going to hear the imperfect parts of the podcast. And I think that's what, again, sets me apart. That's what makes me original, because I embrace it. I embrace the flaws and I just kind of roll with it. So that's how I got my start in entrepreneurship. So if you are a military spouse and you want to know, well, why should I create a side hustle or business? We are unique. We travel a lot, so we have these experiences that help us connect with people. Someone sees a need for something in the military community, and literally millions can relate to it. An online business is remote, and it moves when you move, just like that. I had to say that. That was a ludicrous reference for anyone who didn't get it. The most you would have to do is to let the Secretary of State know, tax office, all that stuff, that you're moving to a new state and that you need to move your business. Also, that is a way you can make sure that you're always, within regulations with each state and their tax codes. Also, if your target audience is military spouses as well, your audience will understand if you ship physical products, that because you are moving across the globe, and then they can understand if you need to shut down for 3 days. They can understand if their packages may be delayed because you're moving from Virginia to California, because you're moving from Florida to Alaska. They can understand that. They can understand that you're moving from Germany to Hawaii. They will understand. So if there's a delay and you're transparent and you let them know what's going on, they understand. So that's a big plus of being a part of this community, and also having this community be your niche audience. Also, if you have a print on demand business, your audience won't even miss a beat with their shipment, because you don't have to physically ship anything, and all of your shipping is always handled. You don't have to worry about sending a product, packing a product. It's one of the easiest businesses that I have started and that I love, even though I can make a lot of things by hand at this point. Like, why? That's so much work. I want to make the money without all of the extra work and necessary steps that I would have to take to physically create something. Now, I've done it in the past, but at this point, it's like, if I truly just enjoy creating and having someone else make the finished product, then that's what I'm going to do. So also, having extra income has helped my family travel more this year, and we were able to upgrade things that we wouldn't normally indulge in. So I'm just kind of glad that the business continues to flourish. I've always had a goal to match my husband's income, and that's kind of something that fueled me. Like, I have to make as much as he does, so I just wanted to work that much harder. Also, now I've done so much. Now we can, just enjoy life together with our family, and he even enjoys helping me out with the business. And you know what they say, teamwork makes the dream work. So it's a lot of wins here for any military spouse who wants to start a business, wants to have a little side hustle. That's not a MLM, which is you gotta pay to play. You gotta get people on your team to win. It cuts all of that out. Yes, those things are remarkable. They've changed people's life, but you have to do a lot of work to get a solid team behind you to make good money. And then you might not even really like the product. The product might not work for you. So, hey, that's up to you if that's the route you want to go to. But even like with transitioning and moving, you'll be able to just share that with somebody and the process and how it goes. So whenever I move, it'll be a transition for me as well. And I'll be able to share the thoughts about that and the process, how it was for me to move my online business to a new state as I go through the journey, because that can relate to my audience. It can relate to anyone else who has an online business. and maybe this is their first time moving and they just need someone who can relate to them or help them with the steps of what they need to do or what actions they need to take to move their business to a new state. And I also just really enjoy networking and connecting with other military spouses. So if you're in Virginia or you're coming soon, just find me on Instagram at Cinquanta Cox-Smith. I also have an empty house tour of our on-post housing on my YouTube channel, which is Smiley Quanta. So you can check that out there. And then I'm going to leave you guys with a quick gem, and then we're going to just end this podcast. All right, so I hope all of my military spouses out there and anyone who has been listening to my podcast, I hope you guys can share this with a military spouse that you know. Also, hit me up and let me know what you guys are interested in. Let me know what print-on-demand site you've been looking at but don't understand. I'm excited to get into teaching you guys different platforms and teaching you how to win on certain platforms and things that you should do. I am a sucker, for being able to pull in organic traffic to make money. So that means I don't have to post on social media every day to get the sale. I rely heavily on organic traffic, and to do that, you have to do the necessary and true research. Research is what makes you the money, not that other stuff. Research is your number one way to make money. So if you learn how to effectively research, you can make tons of money. So if you're interested in signing up for my military newsletter, that will be coming soon. But like I said, make sure you follow me on Instagram for updates about that. Or you can send me an email at hello@cinquantacoxsmith.com, or you can use my contact tab on my website at www.cinquantacoxsmith.com. So until the next time, I will see you guys in the next episode. I'm so thankful for Anchor, and if you're listening to this, you should be thankful for Anchor too. If you want to be a podcast or start your own podcast, Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and it's ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast, because nobody want a podcast for free. But you can go to anchor.fm/start to join me and thousands of others podcasters, so you can get this shmoney too. Thank you guys so much for listening and subscribing. Don't forget to share and leave a review for this podcast. If you have any questions, you can email me at hello@cinquantacoxsmith.com. You can follow me on Instagram at cinquantacoxsmith and at coinsandconnections.com. My websites are www.cinquantacoxsmith.com and www.coinsandconnections.com. You can join my Facebook group at Books Plus Business with Cinquanta Cox-Smith. I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace.